I'm Gaming Fit Nation's Black Bob, but we're here at the Dark Horse Comics booth for New York Comic Con, and we're about to talk about the new comic book coming out for The Last of Us. Naughty Dog's thing, you know, it's a little big deal, somewhat. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves to you and tell you who they are.
Hi, I'm Neil Druckmann. I'm the creative director at Naughty Dog on The Last of Us, and this is...
I am Faith Erin Hicks. I am the artist and co-writer of the Last of Us comic book series.
Awesome. So can you tell me a little bit about the Last of Us comic that's coming out that you're working with on Dark Horse on?
Yeah, I'm going to let Faith do.
Oh, okay. The Last of Us comic strip, or comic book, subtitled American Dreams, is a prequel to the game. It centers around Ellie, one of the main characters from the game, and it is her life about a year before the game. It's her going into a different type of school situation. She's being forced into kind of the military, and she's attracted to another girl at the school. They become friends. Not attracted that way. I meant they become friends, drawn to. There we go.
I was about to say, you guys are going for a little controversy this time around. All right, go ahead.
No, that would be BioWare. Yeah. Anyway, so Ellie and her new friends set out throughout the city of Last of Us and get into some pretty dangerous situations. So I think it's going to be a really amazing comic.
All right, so does this comic like kind of blend into the game at all? Like, the story of this comic is definitely a prequel, but you know, does this story kind of go into the game a little bit?
Well, that was the cool thing in working with Faith on this comic. Early on, before the story of the game was finished, is that a lot of the stuff we were creating for the comic we've been able to work into the game. So there's a lot of setups and threads and characters that get introduced in the comic that then show up in the game. And it's all canon, it's all part of the story. So if you can play the game and not read the comic and you'll get the experience. You could read the comic and the story stands on its own. But if you experience both, then you'll get a deeper understanding of who Ellie is and her motivation behind some of the actions she takes in the game.
So it seems like from what the game standpoint, we take a place where everything has already been. Like society is breaking down, and there's the virus that's going around. So what I assume with your graphic novel is to say that, or the comic book is to say that you're going to tell us how it breaks down, right?
No, it comes afterwards.
Yeah. So,
it's afterwards?
Yeah.
So, I thought you told me it was a prequel. I'm sorry.
Well, it is a prequel, but the pandemic that you're talking about has happened 20 years ago, 20 years before the start of the game.
Oh.
So this comic book is 1 year before that, so it's 19 years after the pandemic. So the world is already destroyed, and the story takes place in one of the last remaining quarantine zones that's run by the military.
Also, we're going to see a breakdown as far as that, because I mean, as we know, she's teaming up with the lead, and you know, they're pretty much on their own, right?
Yeah, they're pretty early on in the comic book. Joel gets tasked with smuggling Ellie out of the city in the game. And then you'll see in the comic book it sets some of those events up that lead into what happens, why that happens in the game.
Right. So will we be able to see characters from the actual comic book appear in the actual game? Do you know?
So far it's just Ellie. The other main character from the comic, Riley, will not be in the game, but I think
she does. Even though she's not directly in the game, the action and the relationship between like Ellie and Riley plays a big role in Ellie's life. And I can say that there's at least one other character that shows up in the comic that does show up in the game.
Now, when do you feel like this will be available to us? You know, the comic book, for us to read and see.
Oh,
and all
spring,
that.
definitely spring. Yeah, I don't think we have a release date right at this minute.
Not a specific one, but
no.
Spring 2013.
Yeah.
For the comic book.
We're working on it now.
I can already hear it now. Like, oh, he just said the release date for The Last of Us.
Didn't do that.
You know, so do you think that this would be a great opportunity for some DLC type of deal with having the comic book, The Last of Us? I mean, you know what? You also did with like Uncharted 2. You did the graphic novel, the come to life thing that was downloadable on the PSN. So maybe, if it's possible, if you could do the same thing with The Last of Us.
Yeah, it's always possible, and it's always interesting creating these new characters for the comic book and thinking how they might be integrated into the game at some point. But right now, the focus at the studio is just finish the game. Not even worry about DLC or anything else, just finish the game.
They got a lot on their plate.
I'm just trying to get more about that game.
Yeah, good luck.
But you know, you're tasked with a great job. I mean, like I said, you know,
I'm really
you're tasked with
excited,
telling
yeah.
that extra, those gaps in story that
Yeah.
you know a lot of people would want to know that you know you might not be able to tell throughout the whole game. So we look forward to your comic book.
Yeah, I'm really excited as well. I work mostly in creator-owned comics, doing my own writing and based on my own characters, and it's been very exciting to be, you know, invited into Naughty Dog's Last of Us world and to be allowed to create within that. I really enjoyed working with Neil and with Naughty Dog. It's been a great ride so far, and the comic's going to be great.
Is there anything you guys can tell us that we haven't heard as far as the game or the comic book that you might give us as exclusive to New York Comic Con, and also because I'm such a nice guy?
I don't know. Whatever.
I'll leave that up to you. I mean, I can't.
He just said no.
I don't know.
Really.
No, I'm trying to think. What haven't we said
Yeah.
that I might be able to say?
We have that poster.
So elaborate on the release date.
They're both coming out in 2013. There you go. That's exclusive.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. Wait, let me see your picture.
Okay, so this is the poster. This is promotional art for The Last of Us. This was drawn by me and colored by Christina Strain.
Oh no, you have the mic.
Oh, sorry. This was promotional art for The Last of Us comic, drawn by me and colored by Christina Strain. So that's what the Ellie will look like in the comic.
And the other character there is Riley, the new character we're introducing.
Awesome.
Gonna be awesome.
Well, I appreciate the interview. You guys rock. You know, you do your thing. Of course.
I hear
you know,
you're pretty good at Uncharted multiplayer. Is
Oh
that
yeah,
true?
of course.
Number one rated in the world. I heard. Somebody told me that.
I'm kind of a big deal. This is, I mean, I think I have the record for the most perfects. I have 150 perfects in Uncharted 2 online.
All right. Well,
I don't know.
We'll see what you bring to The Last of Us.
Word? wait. So yeah, what could I bring to The Last of Us as far as multiplayer?
Well, we've already said there's going to be multiplayer. What kind of multiplayer?
Yeah.
Not revealing just yet.
Yeah, but apparently it's a type where I could be more competitive, right?
Not saying anything.
See? Slip up. Yo, read between the lines, people. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.